Craft Time with Miss Teri.
Hello, it's Miss Teri from the Noonan Carnegie Library, and it's time for our preschool craft time, and it's our STEM craft time. So we're going to kind of be mixing some things together to make a craft and an art piece. So what we're going to do today is we're going to make some bubbly art hearts. And I've done this before up at the Carnegie, so if any of my guys are watching, you've done this before during story time. So what you're going to need is thick paper. I like to use watercolor paper. This time I'm using kind of a multi-task paper that's kind of a thicker paper. You will need baking soda. You will need vinegar. Any brand is fine. I just use like the store brand. It needs to be the white vinegar. You'll need some food coloring, like the liquid kind, and you can choose whatever colors you want. I'm only going to do two. I'm going to do blue and red. And then if you have like an eyedropper or a pipette, that's great. If you don't, you can use like a straw that you can put your finger at the top of it to stop the liquid so that you can do drops, because that's the fun part, is kind of doing drops on there and watching it kind of fizz up with color. Okay, so I've slanted the camera down so you can actually see what happens instead of actually just seeing what I'm doing. So the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to put some drops of food coloring into 2 different things of vinegar, or 3 or 4, however many colors you want. And I put, in the blue, I put like, I guess 4 drops, and in the red I put, I guess probably about 5 drops. It took a little more for the red. And the more drops you put in there, the more vibrant the color is going to be. And I also decided that I wanted to use a clear dish so that you guys could see what was going on. But you don't have to do that. I would suggest, though, that you put it on something, because this is food coloring. It can stain surfaces. And I also recommend that you put on clothing that you don't mind getting stained, just in case you get it on you. So this is the fun part, kids. Well, part of the fun part. You can just spread this all over your heart, wherever you want it. Wherever you want to color your heart, that's where you can put this. And if you have clumps, you can just go pow, pow, pow. Now you don't want to put too much on there, because if you put too much on there, it's going to be hard for your color to come through. So that looks pretty good. And now you're going to take your pipette or your eyedropper or your straw, whatever you're using, and you're going to suck some of that color up there, just like that. And you're going to start dropping it on, and you're going to be amazed. Oh my goodness, look at that. Look at that bubbling action. Ooh, look at it. Isn't that cool? That's called a chemical reaction. When you have 2 things that mix together and they react to each other. Let's do it some more. Can you hear it? It sounds kind of like sizzling, right? I'm going to do a little more of blue, and then I think I'm going to switch to my red. Maybe put a little stripe of red through here. Let's see. That's really cool sounding, isn't it? Oh, and you can cut your shape any shape you want to. I just did mine as a heart because I could do that really easy freehand. But if you want, you can do, you know, your initial for your first name, or you can do some of your ABCs. If mom and dad have stencils at home, you could even do stencil ABCs on a piece of paper. Oh yeah, that's going to be cool looking, right? And you kind of want to cover the whole heart or whole piece of paper. I think I'm running out of sizzle.
I'm going to speed it up a little bit.
Alright, so whenever I'm done doing that, I'm going to take the edge. Oh, and you need paper towels as well. And I'm going to kind of shake it off just a little bit. And see, I put a little bit too much of the baking soda on there, so it's kind of baking soda-y. So I want to kind of hit mine to get some of it off. You don't want to put as much baking soda as I did on there. Let's see if I can get any more. See, mine's still reacting. So I'm going to do a little bit more vinegar. Actually, this will probably react. Yep, that one's done reacting. So let's see. So now you can look and see some of the design that's left on there. I'm going to put a little bit more vinegar on there to get some of that baking soda off. And see my fingers? Ooh. So you might want to wear gloves as well. And I'm going to put a little bit more food coloring too, because I want a little more red in mine, I think. So I'll put about 4 drops. And this is a quick and easy thing that you probably have at home. Maybe not the paper, but you could probably use regular paper as well. And you just keep doing it until it doesn't foam up anymore. And it's also good to kind of have it on an inclined surface like I do, like on a hill, so it all kinds of runs off as well. Because if it sits in there on the wet, the paper will actually get kind of messed up. I think I'm almost done. Just a couple more spots right there. All right. So let's see how it looks here. Mine ended up being on both sides because I had too much baking soda. So this is what my front of my heart looks like. That's kind of cool. And that's what my back looks like. So my front ended up being actually more pinkish red because I ended up putting more pink and red on it. But you can do it any way you want. Matter of fact, if you think it's too pink or red, then you can put a little more baking soda on there and put a different color, and it'll actually change the color of it. So, also don't forget paper towels if I didn't say that before, because it is kind of messy. So, that was our craft today, to make foamy stem hearts. And you can put them up on your refrigerator when you're done. Or you can make them into a card or a bookmark if you want, however you want to do it. And you don't even have to make it into a heart. You can make it into anything. So thank you for joining me for our stem craft today. I hope you had fun making things foam up and making chemical reactions. I know I did, even though I put too much baking soda. So join me next time for our craft time. Thanks for coming. Bye-bye.